the son of a senator, to serve 28 years in prison for a crash that killed a cop. This is a hell of a story. Put up the picture full mass. The adult son of Republican North Dakota United States Senator Kevin Cramer has been sentenced to serve 28 years in prison in connection with a wild chase in which he fled from a hospital and drove into a deputy's vehicle, killing that deputy. Ian Cramer, 43 years of age, pleaded guilty in September to all of the charges against him, including homicide while fleeing a peace officer, preventing arrest, reckless endangerment, fleeing an officer, and drug-related offenses. Those charges stem from the chase and crash last year that killed the Mercer County Sheriff's Deputy, Mr. Paul Martin. The state court judge, Bobbi Weiler, handed down the sentence of 38 years with 10 years suspended, 3 years of probation, and credit for more than a year served in jail. The judge also included recommended treatment for addiction and mental health, but he likely will not serve the full 28 years, according to the judge. Much of the sentencing focused on Cramer's addiction and mental health. His mother, Chris Cramer, read a statement in which she said her son, quote, has hurt his brain a lot on his own, end quote, and is dealing with a mental illness. She apologized and said, quote, I really do feel responsible for what happened on December 6th. Let me tell you what happened. Bismarck police said Ian Cramer's mother had taken him to a hospital because of mental health concerns. Court documents say he crawled into the driver's seat of his parents' vehicle after his mother got out and smashed in reverse through the closed garage door of the hospital's ambulance bay. He later fled from deputies when one confronted him in Hazen, about 70 miles from Bismarck, authorities said. Cramer hit speeds of more than 100 miles per hour and kept going even after a spike device flattened two tires, according to court documents. More spikes were set up, and Cramer swerved and then crashed head-on into Martin's patrol vehicle and launched him about 100 feet, authorities said. Officer Martin was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Cramer pleaded not guilty in the homicide case in April. He was initially charged with manslaughter, later changed to the homicide offense, which carries a maximum of 20 years in prison. He has been held at the McLean County Jail in Washburn on a $500,000 cash bail. Kevin Cramer has said his son, quote, suffers from serious mental disorders, which manifest in severe paranoia and hallucinations. There's a great irony and sadness to this entire story. One, the US senator who has a son who suffers from extreme mental health conditions. There is no ambiguity about that statement. He does suffer from mental health disease. His father, the US senator, is on a team that routinely defunds and ignores the need for proper mental health opportunities, organizations, and funding in the United States of America. The great irony of this. taking his son to a local hospital. You have to understand, typically local hospitals are not equipped to deal with severe emergency mental health traumas either. It seems like a better place than jail, right? But typically they are not holistically equipped to deal with something like this. The son was not killed by law enforcement, but we have seen many instances where a person, especially if they happen to be Black, they have a mental health crisis in that moment, and they are killed. They are killed, men and women, killed right there. Sometimes, excuse me, even in their own homes, having a mental health crisis, they are killed inside of their own homes without posing a threat to anybody else. So this is one of those ironies, right? Where policy and then the reality seemingly don't meet or match. I'm hopeful that out of this tragedy, that the senator becomes even more so of an advocate to ensure that our protocols in the healthcare systems of America become more congruent to mental health reform. Sharon, I feel for the mother. I do. When she said that she feels somewhat responsible, she was involved that day. She knew what was happening with her son, and she was trying to get her son help. As a parent, I definitely feel for her. But there's a place where policy has to meet practice. And the irony is that her husband and the individual's father is a U.S. senator who's involved in the policy dynamics of this.
It's a conflict, and the whole thing is a tragedy, right? It's a tragedy. It is painful to all involved, particularly victim, right? But this whole thing where there's treatment for some and not others, and some kind of outrage when true punishment is metered out. We're going to have to decide who we are as a society. I mean, I guess we already have, Doc, but we should perhaps revisit that issue.
Yeah, definitely. I will bring updates as they come. I'm looking for more humanity in our policies moving forward. Yeah. We shall see.